My girlfriend said, "I found someone who actually excites me." I replied, "I'm not going to beg." Then I booked a solo flight home, cleared her from our place, ignored every desperate call from overseas, and I just watched as her poolside fantasy turned into a legal and financial nightmare. You're listening to AF Tales. This story is about a man whose long-term girlfriend ended their relationship on vacation because she found someone more exciting, and what happened when her choice exploded in her face. As you listen, ask yourself where you would have walked away and whether you agree with the choice he made. She said, "I found someone who actually excites me. This trip is over for us." We were still sharing the same hotel room. I didn't argue, I just said, "Okay." I booked an earlier flight home alone. 2 nights later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize, and the first sentence made me sit up straight. I'm 35, and at the time I thought I had my life figured out. My girlfriend and I had been together for 4 years. We weren't married, but we talked about it. We lived together, split bills, had our routines. It looked like the standard next step relationship. This vacation was supposed to be a reset after a rough few months. We'd both been working a lot, barely connecting, and we saved for almost a year to afford this 10-day resort trip overseas. I thought a change of scenery might fix things. This is where a lot of people try to repair something with a trip when the real problem is already back home. Day 3 is when it all fell apart. We'd just gotten back from the beach. I was sitting on the balcony with a beer, watching the sunset. She came out and sat across from me. Her face was different, not upset, just cold, like she'd already made up her mind and was now delivering the verdict. "We need to talk," she said. My stomach dropped. Those 4 words almost never lead anywhere good. "Okay," I said. "What's going on?" She didn't look at me. She just stared out at the ocean. "I met someone yesterday at the bar by the pool. We talked for hours while you were napping." I felt my throat tighten. "You met someone?" "Yeah," she finally looked at me. "I haven't felt excited in years, not with you, not about us. But talking to him, I felt something I forgot existed." I just sat there. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. Part of me had seen something like this coming. We'd been going through the motions for months. "So what are you saying?" I asked. "I'm saying this trip is over for us. I'm not going home with you. I'm staying here." "He's staying at the same resort. I want to see where this goes." I looked at her like she was a stranger, and in that moment she was. "Okay," I said. She blinked. "That's it, just okay." "What do you want me to say? You've clearly made up your mind. I'm not going to beg." Here's an important point when someone has already decided to leave. Begging does not create love. It just creates a scene. She looked almost disappointed, like she'd expected more of a fight. "We're still sharing this room for the next week," she said quietly. "Not anymore," I told her. "I'm booking an earlier flight. I'll be gone by tomorrow night." She didn't argue. She didn't apologize. She just nodded and went back inside. I stayed out there for another 2 hours, drinking and staring at nothing while resort music drifted up from below. Tropical songs, couples walking hand in hand on the beach, the kind of background you see in travel ads. It all felt fake. I remember wondering how many of those couples would actually make it, and how many were already broken but didn't know it yet. Then I went inside, opened my laptop, and changed my flight to the next evening. It cost me an extra $300, but I didn't care. I was not going to spend another week watching her fall in love with someone else in front of me. The confirmation email felt like signing divorce papers. The next 24 hours were the most awkward of my life. She left early the next morning without saying where she was going. I knew exactly where she was going. I packed my stuff slowly, folding each shirt like it mattered. Focusing on something simple kept me from breaking down. I sat by the pool alone, ordered breakfast I couldn't eat, and tried to process what had just happened. A couple next to me was arguing about sunscreen. I almost laughed. Some problems are so small. Later that day, she came back, grabbed a shower, changed into a dress I'd never seen before, and left again without a word. She smelled like a new perfume. I didn't see her again before my shuttle came. I left the room key on the nightstand and left half the vacation money we'd budgeted. I wasn't trying to punish her. I was just done. I flew home alone. The whole flight, I replayed the last 4 years in my head, trying to find the moment where it all started to slide. The guy next to me kept trying to make small talk. I pretended to sleep. By the time I landed, I felt numb. I went back to our apartment. Half her stuff was still there. Her coffee mug was still in the sink from the morning we'd left. I sat on the couch and stared at it for an hour. 2 nights later, my phone rang. Unknown number. It was almost midnight. I was halfway through a bottle of whiskey, sitting in the dark with the TV on but not really watching. I almost didn't answer. I did. "Hello, is this you?" a man's voice said. Rough, angry, stressed. "Who is this?" "I'm calling about your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, whatever she is." My heart started pounding. The whiskey fog disappeared. "What about her?" "She's at the hospital. She asked me to call you." I sat up straight. My body went cold. "What happened? Is she okay?" "She got into a fight with my wife." I froze. The room seemed to tilt. "Your wife?" "Yeah, my wife. The woman I'm married to. The woman your girlfriend didn't know existed until 2 hours ago when my wife showed up at the resort and found us together." It felt like someone punched me in the stomach. "Wait, you're the guy she met at the bar?" "Yeah, I'm the guy. And I didn't tell her I was married because I'm a piece of trash apparently, but that's not why I'm calling. After my wife hit her, your girlfriend completely lost it. Started screaming, throwing things, tried to attack my wife. Security got involved. Police came. She's been detained. They're talking about pressing charges for assault and property damage. She gave them your number as an emergency contact." I could feel my hands shaking. "Are you serious right now?" "Dead serious." "Look, I don't know what you want to do, but she's asking for you. She's crying, hysterical. She doesn't have anyone else out here. Her credit cards are maxed. The hospital wants payment. The hotel wants her out. Sometimes, the people who throw you away expect you to still be their safety net." I hung up. I sat there in the dark for 10 minutes staring at my phone like it might explode. Outside, a car alarm went off. Somewhere, someone laughed. Life kept going. The phone rang again. Same number. "Don't hang up," he said quickly. "She really needs help. She's in a foreign country with no money and possibly facing legal trouble. I can't help her. My wife is losing her mind. This is a disaster." "Not my problem," I said. My voice sounded strangely calm. "She ended things. She chose you. She can figure it out." "Man, I get it, but she's—" I hung up again. Then I blocked his number, and I poured another drink. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about her sitting in a hospital or police station, alone and scared. Part of me felt bad. I'd loved her for 4 years. The other part reminded me that she had made this choice step by step. Around 3 a.m., I got a text from her number. Long, rambling, no punctuation, apologizing over and over, begging me to help, saying she'd made a horrible mistake, saying she was scared and alone, saying I was the only person who ever really cared about her. I read it 3 times. Then I didn't respond. Sometimes silence is the only boundary that actually holds. The next day, I called the resort. I gave them my name and reservation and asked if she was okay. They confirmed she'd been involved in an incident. They told me she'd been released from police custody, but had to stay in the country for a few days because of a legal hold. I asked if she needed anything. They said she'd checked out and was staying in a cheaper hotel now, and she seemed to be managing. I felt a sick sense of satisfaction. Then I felt guilty for feeling satisfied. Then I felt angry for feeling guilty. That cycle repeated all day. That evening, I called my best friend and told him everything. He listened without interrupting, which is rare for him. When I finished, he actually laughed softly. "Dude," he said, "she left you for a married guy she met at a pool bar and then got into a fist fight with his wife. That's like a bad movie plot." "I know. And now she wants you to rescue her." "Yeah, that's the situation." "Are you going to?" I really thought about it. I pictured flying back, playing the hero, fixing everything. I pictured her gratitude, her tears, her promises. No, I said, I'm not. Good, let her figure it out. She's an adult. She made adult choices. Now she gets adult consequences. A lot of people never hear that sentence in their lives. You made adult choices. Now you deal with adult consequences. But it wasn't simple. Over the next few days, she kept texting, calling from different numbers, leaving voicemails. Each message was more desperate than the last. She said she'd maxed out her credit cards on hotel bills and hospital fees. She couldn't afford to change her flight. She asked for $500, then $300, then anything. I started deleting messages without listening. Then her mom called me. Please, she said, her voice shaking. She'd always been kind to me. I know what she did. She told me everything. I'm furious with her, but she's my daughter. She's stuck there. I can't afford to help her. I'm on a fixed income. Can you please just wire her enough to get home? I told her I'd think about it. Then I didn't. And eventually I blocked her number too. That one hurt. Her mom didn't deserve it. But I knew if I opened one door, 10 more would follow. A week went by. I started moving my ex's stuff out of the apartment. I packed her things into boxes slowly and carefully. Photos of us smiling, her favorite mug, books she never finished, a sweater she'd stolen from me 2 years ago. I rented a storage unit and took everything there. Then I changed the locks on the apartment. I had a locksmith come that same day. I know it sounds cold, but I didn't want to come home one day and find her in our bed, acting like nothing had happened. Then I got a Facebook message from someone I didn't know. A woman in her 40s, profile picture with 2 kids. She said she was the wife, the one who had hit my ex. I'm sorry for what happened, she wrote. I didn't mean to drag you into this, but I thought you should know the truth about what kind of person she is and what kind of person my husband is. We both deserve better. She sent screenshots, dozens of messages between her husband and my ex. They'd been talking for weeks before the trip, before we even booked it. He had lied about being single, told my ex he was a businessman traveling alone. They exchanged flirty messages, photos, plans to meet, fantasies about running away together. But what hit me hardest was this: my ex had told him we were already broken up, that I was just a friend traveling with her because we couldn't get refunds, that I was controlling, that she was finally escaping. I stared at those messages for a long time. My coffee went cold. The sun went down. This wasn't some sudden moment of weakness at a pool bar. This was planned. She was using me as a safety net while she test drove a new life. I didn't respond to the wife. I just closed the messages and sat there, feeling numb at first, then strangely relieved. At least now I knew. No more guessing. No more maybe I overreacted. Just clarity. 2 days later, my ex finally made it home. I know because she showed up at my apartment, banging on the door at 9 p.m. I was watching a game, eating takeout, actually having a decent evening. "Let me in," she shouted. "We need to talk, please. I know you're in there." I opened the door but kept the chain on. She looked rough. Messy hair, dark circles, wrinkled clothes. Part of me felt bad. The other part felt nothing. "Your stuff is in storage. Unit 212. I'll text you the code," I said. "Are you serious right now? You can't just throw away 4 years." "I didn't throw away anything. You did. On day 3 of our vacation." "I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I was confused and stupid and I don't know what I was thinking." "And you lied," I said. "You told that guy we'd already broken up. You were planning this before we even got on the plane." Her face went pale. Her mouth opened, then closed. "Who told you that?" she whispered. "Doesn't matter. It's true, isn't it?" She didn't answer. Tears started running down her face, smudging her mascara. She looked small and lost, but that wasn't my problem anymore. "We're done," I said. "Don't contact me again. I'm serious. I'll get a restraining order if I have to." "You don't mean that. You loved me." "I did love you," I said. Past tense. That person doesn't exist anymore. I closed the door. She stayed out there for another 10 minutes, crying and pleading through the wood. Then the crying turned to yelling. She called me heartless, said I'd never really loved her, said I was probably relieved this happened. The neighbors probably heard everything. I didn't care. Finally, she left. That was 3 months ago. I haven't heard from her directly since that night. Mutual friends say she moved back in with her parents 2 states away. She lost her job because she took unauthorized time off to extend the trip and then couldn't come back on time due to the legal mess. She'd called in sick, then stopped answering. Last I heard, she was working part-time retail and still paying off the credit card debt from the vacation. The legal charges were dropped. The wife decided not to press charges in the end. The married guy's wife divorced him within 2 months. Turns out my ex wasn't his first affair, not even his second. The wife messaged me one more time to say thank you for not making things worse and to wish me well. She seemed like a good person. We both got played. As for me, I'm actually doing okay, better than okay. I got a promotion at work last month. My boss said I seemed more focused, more driven. Funny how betrayal can sometimes push you to take your own life more seriously. I started going to the gym regularly. Picked up a couple of hobbies I'd dropped years ago: guitar, photography. Things I'd stopped doing because she found them boring. This is something people forget. A relationship that demands you shrink yourself is already breaking you before it ends. I started seeing someone new about 6 weeks after everything. Nothing rushed. We took it slow. She's kind, honest, direct. We met at a coffee shop. She spilled her drink on my old laptop, apologized 100 times, and offered to buy a new one. I told her it was fine, it was old anyway. We laughed. She asked if she could at least buy me dinner to make up for it. I said yes. She is the complete opposite of my ex in all the ways that matter. I still think about that night on the balcony sometimes. The way my ex looked at me when I just said, okay. I think she expected a dramatic scene. Tears, begging, proof that I cared enough to fight for her. But here's what I learned: you can't make someone want to stay, and you shouldn't have to. The right person doesn't go looking for excitement with strangers at pool bars. They find it with you, in quiet mornings, in shared routines, in inside jokes. In choosing each other again and again, even when life is boring. About 2 months ago, my ex texted me again, just 2 words: I'm sorry. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. Sorry doesn't undo betrayal, it doesn't give back time. 6 months after everything, she sent one last thing, a long email. She explained how she'd felt unfulfilled for over a year, how she made terrible choices, how therapy was helping her understand why she sabotaged good things. She said she'd grown, that she hoped someday I could forgive her. She asked if we could meet for coffee, just for closure. I read it twice. I sat with it for a day, then I deleted it. Her closure is not my responsibility. Her healing is not my job. I spent 4 years trying to keep her happy. That chapter is over. I don't hate her. I don't wish bad things on her. I hope she gets the help she needs. I just don't think about her much anymore. And that, more than anything, tells me I made the right choice on that balcony when I said okay and walked away. My apartment is mine. My life is mine. My future is mine. And I'm building it with someone who chose me first, not as a backup plan, not as a safety net, not as the safe option while they chase excitement somewhere else. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just living well, moving on, and being genuinely happy with someone who actually wants to be there. Lesson 1: when someone shows you that you are their backup plan, believe them and step out of the lineup. Lesson 2: you are not required to rescue the person who betrayed you from the consequences they chose. Lesson 3: closure is something you give yourself. It is not something you owe to the person who hurt you. Lesson 4: real excitement in a relationship comes from building a life together, not from secret messages and hidden strangers. Lesson 5: protecting your peace sometimes means blocking numbers, changing locks, and refusing to reopen doors that nearly destroyed you. Lesson 6: you deserve to be chosen openly, not kept as a safety net while someone tests better options. What about you? At what point in this story would you have walked away? And do you think he was right not to send her money or meet her for closure? Share your thoughts in the comments.